One question. Once the movie was ready, did you have the curiosity to read the book again, to check the spirits of the book?
I kept checking back, and we all loved that book. Everybody who worked on the movie, so there was a lot of insight in the book that was helpful. But then at a certain point, you also realize you're doing something in a different medium. It has to stand on its own legs, and you need to also, look at what you have in front of you and trust that. Thanks.
Good stuff.
Due domande. Mi ha colpito molto come lei ha evidenziato e esaltato il coraggio di due donne, appunto all'inizio degli anni 50, che con coraggio mettono davanti a tutti la loro identità. Cate Blanchett, che è sposata, ma si rende conto chi è veramente ed è pronta anche a rinunciare alla propria figlia, e la ragazza Mara decide, dopo un'iniziale confusione, sa cosa vuole. Quindi è un messaggio molto forte, il coraggio di dire chi siamo e cosa vogliamo. E le volevo chiedere se la scelta di Cate Blanchett e di Rooney Mara è stata fin dall'inizio, sono state loro, o se magari aveva in mente altre protagoniste, ma che poi alla fine, perché Rooney Mara mi è piaciuta molto, personalmente sta crescendo negli anni artisticamente, e devo dire che nel finale emerge tantissimo con quel del film. Grazie.
Thank you. I agree. Both the work of both actresses is, for me, it's impossible to consider or imagine anybody else occupying those roles. Now, when this was the first film I've done that I didn't write myself, that I didn't originate myself, it had a long, long history before me, of course, starting with the book, but then even just as an adaptation to film, there was, almost 10 to 15 years, I think, all told, that preceded us making Carol. Elizabeth Carlson was the producer who really re-infused the process about 5 years ago. So when it came to me, Kate was already attached to play Carol. So I read the script, and I read The Price of Salt, picturing Kate. And so the movie had already begun in my, for me, when I read these pieces of material. But it was my great honor to find her counterpart in the film. And Rooney Mara's work, I've been, following like most of you, I'm sure. I think I'd seen most of the films that she'd been in, and I was just always so impressed by how her power of understatement, how much she seemed to understand the cinematic medium and the scale of film, how intimate a medium it is, and how much more powerful a scene can be, or an emotion can be when it's underplayed. And for somebody that age to know that and to trust pulling back, and to really ultimately it's about trusting the audience, the viewer. I just thought that was so unique. But I talked to people who worked with Rooney, and they were all amazed by what she brings to the process. And I talked to Kate about Rooney, and we were both like, yeah, let's do it. And I found that they're different ages, they have different levels. Kate's been doing this longer than Rooney, but they're very similar. They're very incredibly intelligent women, obviously, incredibly versatile, very professional and prepared. They come prepared. But they really understand, I think, the narrative component, and where, why the camera, they want to know why the camera is where it is. Whose point of view are we looking at this scene from. All of the nuances of storytelling affect their choices and their decisions as performers. So and we had 2 weeks, 2 precious weeks of rehearsal, which is not always typical for low-budget films, and that was a great process for us, because we could just sit around and read the scenes and talk through the material and get to know each other.